much, but we have to get into the card that the WNBA and NBC Sports pulled. They basically said, look, we're having a season with or without you players.
Stop everything for a moment, because this is not just another sports story. This might be one of the most self-destructive business decisions in the history of professional sports. After all the controversies around the WNBA, from rookie debates to Olympic snubs and bad officiating, the league has somehow managed to embarrass itself even more. Multiple insiders now confirm that the WNBA, under Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, has officially warned Caitlin Clark about her partnership with NBC Universal. Instead of thanking her for boosting the league's popularity, they sent her a legal notice, claiming her role as an NBA and Olympic broadcaster could be a conflict of interest. This move shows the WNBA is heading straight toward disaster. What makes this even crazier is Caitlin Clark's salary. She earns around $76,000 a year on her rookie contract, which is nothing in professional sports. Yet the league is trying to stop her from making millions through NBC. They treat her like a superstar they fully own while paying her like an intern. The WNBA is basically saying she belongs to them, and NBC is just a side job. But when the side job pays dozens of times more than the main one, it becomes the real job. At this point, it feels less like Caitlin Clark works for the WNBA and more like the WNBA works for Caitlin Clark. She is the economy. She is the engine keeping everything alive, and instead of treating her like gold, the league is trying to control her. They are putting limits on the one person actually driving their growth, and this so-called conflict of interest makes no sense. The WNBA claims that because NBC also broadcasts the NBA, Caitlin promoting basketball on a bigger platform somehow weakens her loyalty to the WNBA. That argument is ridiculous. Any exposure Caitlin gets only helps the sport. If she is on TV every week covering the Olympics, talking about basketball, or simply being a global star, that brings more attention to the WNBA. That is free marketing on the biggest stage possible. But the league is so insecure and so afraid of losing control that they would rather damage their own progress than share the spotlight. That mindset shows weakness and a fear of success. The deeper issue is coming from inside the league. This warning is not just legal, it is personal. There's growing jealousy and resentment from veteran players who have spent years struggling for low pay, playing overseas, and sacrificing their bodies. Now they see a young rookie landing massive deals, flying private, and becoming the face of major networks. According to insiders, this frustration has reached the players' union and veteran leadership, who are now pressuring the commissioner, arguing that the situation is unfair.
Why should Caitlin face limits for working with NBC? Is missing a practice suddenly a crime? The league is clearly bending to jealous veterans, sending a warning to show they are tough and that no one is above the league. Reality check? Caitlin Clark is bigger than the league. The ratings, attendance, and merchandise prove it. Without her, key media deals and salaries wouldn't exist. She is the rainmaker. You don't threaten the person who keeps everything alive. Suspending her would backfire completely. She would become a martyr, fans would revolt, sponsors like State Farm, Gatorade, and Nike would side with her, and the league would lose support fast. NBC isn't small either. They have the legal power and money to defend their star. They signed Caitlin to be the face of their coverage, and the WNBA has no authority to interfere. This isn't a fair fight. It's Godzilla versus a gecko. The WNBA is bringing a knife to a nuclear war. It's embarrassing and shows a complete lack of business sense, disgraceful as many are calling it. Caitlin Clark's team is confused, wondering if the league actually wants her to leave. The message is clear: you're too big for us, we can't handle your success unless it's on our terms. Caitlin doesn't need the WNBA. She could play in Europe for millions, start her own league, or make huge money as a broadcaster. The league, however, desperately needs her, and their failure to recognize this proves their incompetence. They're steering straight toward disaster. This also sends a terrible message to the next generation. Players like Juju Watkins and Paige Buckers are watching. Why join a league that punishes its stars for succeeding? The WNBA is risking its future by trying to control talent, turning success into a liability. And the timing couldn't be worse. They issued this warning at the peak of NBC coverage, stealing the spotlight from Caitlyn and turning what should be a celebration into another story of league pettiness. Every time Caitlyn does something amazing, the league finds a way to ruin it with politics. It is exhausting being a fan of this league. It is exhausting because you are constantly fighting against the incompetence of the people in charge. We just want to watch basketball. We just want to see greatness. But the league is obsessed with power struggles. So what happens next? That is the million-dollar question. Does Caitlyn back down? Knowing her competitiveness, knowing how she handles pressure, absolutely not. She is going to show up on NBC. She is going to hold that microphone. She is going to interview LeBron James, and she is going to dare the WNBA to do something about it. She is calling their bluff, and when she does, the WNBA will have only two choices. They can suspend her and destroy their own league, or they can back down and look weak. There is no winning situation for the league here, because they picked a fight they cannot win. They backed themselves into a corner. If I were advising Caitlin Clark right now, I would tell her to go even harder. I would tell her to wear her NBC blazer to the arena. I would tell her to do a live segment for the Today Show from the locker room. Force the issue. Make them look ridiculous. Expose the tyranny, because the only way this changes is if the fans and the sponsors revolt. We need to make it clear that we are not watching the WNBA for the administrative rules. We are watching for the talent, and if the administration gets in the way of the talent, then the administration needs to go. Kathy Engelbert needs to resign. The leadership needs to be cleared out. We need people in charge who understand modern media, who understand the creator economy, and who understand that you lift your stars up, you do not drag them down. This warning is a badge of honor for Caitlyn. It proves she has outgrown the pond. She is a whale in a swimming pool, and the lifeguards are blowing their whistles because she is splashing too much water. It is pathetic, but it is also a sign of the end for the current version of the WNBA. The league as we know it is heading toward collapse if they do not change direction. You cannot survive a war with your own customers. And make no mistake, the customers are Team Caitlyn. I want to know where you stand on this, because this is the defining moment of the offseason. Do you think the WNBA has any right to issue this warning? Is there a real conflict of interest, or is this just jealousy hidden behind legal language? And if they suspend her, are you done? Are you canceling your league pass? Let me know in the comments. We need to make our voices heard right now, because they are listening. They are scared of the backlash, so let's give it to them. Let's show them we see through the lies. Let's show them we stand with the players who grow the game, not the suits who block it. This is a disgrace. It is a disaster, and it might be the beginning of the end for the WNBA establishment. Don't blink, because the next move is going to change everything.